The purpose of this video is to orientate you with the 23 Winnebago Solis. Pretty much what I'm going to do is do a walkthrough, and I'll highlight the areas that need attention, and pretty much whatever you need to know about this RV when you're camping, I'm going to try to cover it all. This will work as a quick guide, so you can always refer back to this video if you forget something, and it's right there. You have access to it, and you could just skip ahead to the sections that you need to. I find that this is probably, I'm hoping that this is going to help out, because when I do the original key exchange with the person, what ends up happening, I do this whole walkthrough and they only end up retaining maybe like a quarter of what we actually talked about. Hopefully this will help you guys enjoy your trip more, and you could always have access to this information. And we'll start very easily by starting with the key fob. And the key fob is the same as any other vehicle. There is a lock, there is an unlock, but we have one more button down here. And that button controls the rear doors. So when you lock the vehicle and you hit the regular unlock button next to it, it opens the front ones. It unlocks the front ones, but it won't unlock the back ones. That's what the bottom button is for. Very basic on this side. You'll see that there's a light up here. This light is turned on by a switch in here. Probably can't see it right now because of the sun, but it's controlled from in here. This step down here does not hide away under. It does not go under, because we do have your liquid propane gas located under the vehicle. All you need to know about this liquid propane gas is that there is a master on switch. Sometimes this gets turned off when they're filling it, or if for some reason I forget to turn it on during your departure, this will cause you not to have any gas inside. So if your stove is not working, the hot water is not working, or your furnace is not kicking on, that's probably the reason for it. Don't worry about filling this up before you bring it back, because it's included in your trip. You're going to have enough propane for your trip. Don't worry about filling this up. The gas in the van itself, the fuel that you need, the unleaded, it's regular 87 unleaded fuel, that one does need to be topped off. And I think that's pretty much it for this side. It's self-explanatory. There's two doors, and that's it. We'll walk towards the inside in a bit, but we're going to do the left side. We're going to go to the rear. We're going to do the right, and then we'll end up at the front. And then at the very end, we'll do the interior, and I'll show you how everything else works. All right, so this is the rear of the vehicle. Right off the bat, I'm going to go straight to this bike rack. This bike rack, if you did not rent it, this is one of the add-ons. It holds two bikes, and if you did not rent this, don't worry about it. It's not going to be on your vehicle. It's not going to be on this vehicle when you take it. But if you did rent it, and if it is on here, I need you to be careful, because these doors do have the ability to swing all the way out. By doing so, though, if this is folded up and this door gets away from you, it's going to hit this light and possibly break it. Or if your bikes are on here, they might hit the side. So always be careful when opening the door if you have the bike rack installed on here. If not, we're just going to go blow by this and keep going in here. Check this out. So doors are able to open all the way out, except for when you have this bike rack on there. But you'll see right away that you have these little, they work as tables, or the primary purpose of them is actually for your bed. So when you convert this sofa into your bed, there's this section that hangs on the back side. I just threw it towards the front right now so we can show you. But this completes your bed. But without these up, you'll have no support. So these have to be up when you do the bed. That way you have somewhere for this to have support, and you don't fall in a gap or something. To put these away, there's two latches under here. Since we're still on the doors here, I'll stick with it. You'll see these bars. This works for two things here. I mean, I've used it for two things, at least. Once you pass this through, it's a little pin. So that can function to keep your doors from swinging out. But it's what it's actually meant for. In this Winnebago bag, you're going to find the owner's manual, so you can reference things if you need in here, and this shower curtain. Pretty simple to use. maybe I should have told you that this has an outside shower as well. You do have your inside shower, but you have the option to take a shower outside if you're out camping. You're being woodsy. All right. So that goes up like that. There's going to be a Ziploc bag in the black Winnebago bag that holds your shower curtain. And in this bag, there's going to be these magnets. And the purpose of these magnets are pretty much just to give you some better coverage all the way to the sides. And the reason for that is because they thought of everything. If you're showering back here and you need some privacy, well, there's a gap between this door, and this is to avoid offering people a free show. So now you're set up for your rear shower. Very simple to take down. Take the magnets off, obviously, and just take this off. Now, to keep this video as short as possible, I'm gonna try to power through this, and you're not gonna see me put this away and say, "Oh, you just threw that to the side." But trust me, I actually fold this and put it away nicely for you. I'm just gonna put this aside for now, so we can move on to the next thing. Careful with this. Okay, these drop down and they lock into place. These are blackout curtains. You'll find them throughout the RV inside. Very cool. Gives you extra privacy and it gives you light when you need it. What's included in the back? Well, this is pretty much, you have an idea of what you have for storage. If I can suggest something, is always to try to bring as little things as you can. Don't list if you can when you take this for a trip, well, depending how far you're going. But if you have a suitcase and you start just loading on, if you don't travel like if you're traveling on a plane and you're bringing on like a carry-on plus your extra check-in bag, what I would do is back this in. Once you get it home, back this into wherever your house is and use the overhead compartments inside to put all your clothing in, and that'll really save you on room, and leave this open for other things that you're bringing in your camp trip, tents or whatever you're doing. You'll find a tote back here, and in this tote, this is your shore power cable. If you visit a campsite and they offer power, then this is what you would plug in to the side of the van. The connection, and I'll show it when we get to that end, the connection's on the left side of the van, the driver's side. The other side connects to the camping site. But make sure, you'll find this in here, this is a surge protector. In order to keep the van safe, we put this in line. Just plug in this end here, and then now this goes to the campsite. Now you're hooked up to their power. All your outlets inside are going to work, and you're going to charge everything that needs to be charged. This vehicle does come with a solar panel, and you do have some deep cycle batteries in here. I haven't drained them, so I'm pretty sure you're not going to be able to drain them all the way. I'll show you whatever else. I'll get to that one once we get to the inside. In this tote as well is a flat tire repair kit. Well, this vehicle is not equipped with a spare tire. They try to make use of every little nook and cranny in here, so a spare tire would just take up too much room. So they provided this, and this is a air compressor and a flat tire repair kit. You have two options here. If you switch it to this, you're going to start shooting out some liquid out of here, and that liquid's going to make a mess if it's not in a tire. So make sure you put the clear side into a tire, shoot the liquid into it before moving on to your air, switching back over to air and filling it up. And your air hose is behind this power cable. It's DC. You'll find these plugs all over the van inside. So that is pretty much it. Oh, by the way, if you ever do get a flat tire and you do want to take care of it yourself because you, for some reason, don't want to use your roadside assistance, when you rent this van and you purchase the insurance, I think I'm positive that they also give you roadside assistance. So you can utilize that, take advantage of it. But you never use the flat tire repair kit with all the weight on that tire. So that's what this is for. And this is a jack. So this jack will help you get the vehicle off the ground, and it'll tell you how to do it in the owner's manual. I won't go into details of that. Then that's when you use your flat tire repair kit. All right, in here, this is your hose and filter to fill your fresh water, your portable water. What you'll find in here, you'll find a hose. You're gonna find your filter. You're gonna find this little whip thing on here. I'll show you what that's for in a bit. And a pressure regulator. And the reason we use a pressure regulator is because some of these campsites have high pressure. And if you plug it in direct without using the pressure regulator, you might blow out some of the lines that are inside this fan. So we don't want to do that. But I'll show you real quick how do we use this. So this is where your outside shower comes into play. You see the knobs here, very simple. There is a hose for this. It's actually under the passenger seat. Now, let me go get that real quick so you guys can take a look. Here it is, accessible through the back of the passenger seat. Just pick up the little curtain that it has there and pull this hose out. And very simple, it is a quick connect. Once you plug it in, you set up your shower, or you just need to clean off some mud from your shoes. Make sure your pump is on, and there it is. That's how easy this is to use. You take all the pressure out, there it is. And then give it a squeeze and make sure you get all that water out before you stow it away. If not, then you're just going to have a water mess inside the RV. Okay, that's that. Now let's go through and actually hook up the water. We're going to top off this portable water, the water in the RV itself. You want to do the hose. There is an arrow on here. I don't know if you can see it. It's stamped on here, but it is directional when you use this filter. Make sure that the arrow is facing into the van. That's where the water's going. Oh, good catch, Chris. All right. Once you connect this end, by the way, try to save these caps. Throw them back in this bag. That way you can put them back on the filter when you're done using it. And this is only if you need to top off your fresh water, if you ended up using it. This vehicle does have 20 gallons of fresh water. But 20 gallons sounds like a bit. It's not that much if 2-3 people are trying to take full-on showers. Best way to do it is lather up with some soap, do what you have to do, and then use some water. So squirt yourself down real quick, stop the water, don't let it run. Then lather yourself up with some soap, clean yourself up, and then knock it all off. Try to be conservative with your water, because then you got to go find a place. If you're not at a campsite, you're going to have to look for a place to go fill this up. This bottom, it's capped, and this is where the portable water goes into. The whip, remember I told you about the whip? It's just to take some of the pressure off when you have this connected. If you put this filter direct, as soon as you touch it or hit it, you're going to break it off. So make sure that the whip is on top. Now I know this is I don't know if it's easy to see from where you're at, but I'll try to include a picture in this video. There's a diagram here of the things that you need to do. Now you have winterize, don't worry about that. Sanitize, don't worry about that. I do the sanitizing on these tanks. City water, that's if you want to leave the hose hooked up straight for city water. But the problem of doing that is that it's the connections that are in here. If you're always hooked up to city water and you want to leave it that way, guess what you can't do? You can't close this door. You don't want to do that. You want to be able to close in the doors and have your privacy. So what you're going to use the most, always have it in dry camping mode. Dry camping mode, it shows you in the diagram here, it says white valve down, green valve up, red valve up, and blue valve to the left. And that is how you're going to use your water inside. Now when you're going to fill it, it tells you that right here on the bottom, it says power fill tank. And that's what we're going to do to fill it, which means white valve down. You'll see it here. Don't worry about remembering this, what I'm telling you to do. But so white valve down, green valve to the left, red valve up, blue valve down. Oh, by the way, I just heard the pump kick on. Make sure that this light is off. there's going to be a red light here, and that means that your pump's on. When you're filling this thing, make sure that your pump is off. So this red light is off. So once that's off, we connect ourselves to portable water. By the way, when you're at a campsite, some of these places have hose bibs that they'll say recycled water or water not meant for drinking. Don't use that water. Make sure that you use the ones that are labeled portable water, because you don't want to put that in there. And all we do is open up the water. So now you're filling it up. So you hear it, it's doing its thing. It's putting the water in there. And how do we know when it's filled up? Well, there's an indicator inside, and I'll show you that once we're inside. But this is equipped with an overflow valve. It's an overflow hose. So what I like to do, instead of running inside and trying to see where I'm at with it, I'll let this fill the whole time. And then right in front of the rear right tire, passenger side tire, all of a sudden you'll start seeing like water dripping. And that's a hose. It's an overflow hose. So as soon as that split starts dumping out through there, turn it off. That means you're topped off and you're good to go. I might speed up this part of the video because we don't want to sit here. It takes a bit to fill this thing. Once it's filled up, I want to show you how to disconnect it. Never disconnect it straight from here while you have pressure on here. Always disconnect once you turn off the water. Disconnect from the other side of this white hose, from the bib side, not from here. Because what's going to happen is all that pressure that you have built up in here is going to shoot into the van. So disconnect it on that end first. Let the water run out. Once that's disconnected on that side and the water ran out, you can go ahead and disconnect it here. Before you disconnect it here, you're going to put it back into dry camping mode. And that's pretty much it. Don't worry about this right here. This is to add additional solar panels. You're not going to need that. You have 110 outlets right here. 110 only works when you're hooked up to campground power or shore power. And I do have equipped in this van battery, DeltaFlow battery, which will let you actually power 110. And I have the capability of charging that battery with the actual solar panels as well, or when the vehicle is being driven. So I'll show you how to access that, but it won't work. These 110 outlets that are actually in the vehicle won't work as long as you're not hooked up to shore power. And I think that's pretty much it for the rear. One more thing I will tell you: if you ever do get locked out, try not to. Oh, locked out is easy. I could unlock this van from my phone. But if you lose the keys, I hope you don't, because I'm sure these things are pretty expensive to replace. But if you ever do lose a key and you're far away from me where I can't get to you in a few hours or send these to you, I don't want you stranded out there. So you'll see that there's a master lock container here with a code. Now this code, if that ever happens to you and you lose these keys for whatever reason, I don't want you to get stuck out there. You reach out to me and I'll provide the combination for that key, and then you'll be able to go ahead and take off with this thing. There's a spare key in there. Oh, and the curtains. So these are simple, just the bug netting. So you want to do these two sides. Oh, I don't think I'm gonna end up speeding up the video. And there's your bug netting. People like to set the bed up and just kind of get a breeze, open air on the outside. This vehicle is equipped with an exhaust fan on top. The vehicle itself in the front, it does have the AC. The AC on this unit is very, very good. But the actual backside of this, if the vehicle is not on, you do not have AC. You have an exhaust fan. I was worried about that when I purchased this. I thought it wasn't going to be enough because I run hot. So I was very surprised because we ended up being in Oregon. Oh, there's the water. It's starting to spill out. So that's my cue to turn off the water. And now we're capped off. We're topped off. That's it. That's how you fill that. So I was saying I took a trip up to Oregon. It was in 97, and I thought I was going to die in here because of the heat. It was actually great. I had a great breeze running through here at night. There was a moment where one of the nights it got pretty hot. I ended up just turning on the van for, I think it was like 10, 15 minutes. I had everything closed off. Ran the AC, just removed the heat from this thing, and then the fan took over all night long, and I never had to use the AC again. Okay, so now that we stopped filling this thing, I turned off the water to this. I'm going to disconnect at this end. You hear the water. I didn't show it to you, but you can hear the water coming out on this end. Now I have no pressure coming up here. We're going to set this back to dry camping, down, white, green up, red up, and it says that blue sideways. Got it. Now that that's done, here we go. Just take this off. No water spillage. And if you're nervous about it, just throw a little towel on there or something, and just in case you get a spill. Okay. Put the blue caps, well, they're clear caps. Just put them back on this thing. That way we don't leave a water mess everywhere. Same thing with the hose. Bring it up, slowly let the water drain. That's why I take my time doing this part. I don't just start rolling up right away. And make sure all the water's out. All right. Connect the two ends together. That'll keep whatever water's left in there from coming out. Oh, very important too, that when we fold this down, the seat belts, I can see it now, they always end up falling through. So you're like, oh, there's no seat belts in the back. They are. It's just that when you converted this into a bed, the seat belts fall through. So all you have to do is either reach in through the front side, pull them up, or you can push them up through here. Either way. So that's what comes with this vehicle. Rear shower, how to fill. That's what we covered here. And I think that's pretty much it for the back side. That's it on this end. We'll move on to the left side here in the next video. All right, so we've made it this far into the video. They're getting pretty long. I hope I can fragment it so you could just skip ahead to the sections that you want to, I guess, go back to. Like if you want to just learn how the stove works, you don't have to watch the whole dang thing. You could just skip ahead. So this is the cassette for the toilet inside. If you recall, I showed you that you should always leave some water on top of the toilet in the bowl. That way you keep the smells from coming out. Whenever you're going to remove this cassette, make sure that you actually open the toilet valve and allow that water that you kept there to go down. Make sure that the bowl is dry before moving this out. If not, when you pull this cassette out, then you're going to have some water leaking into the compartment. You need a key to access this, and it's in the keys. Okay, so actually I had it unlocked. Make sure you always leave it locked because someone can come in here and fiddle with it. So you push both buttons, this one and the bottom one. In here you're going to find gloves, sanitizer, and a roll of towels. I don't have it here because I just ran out. You're going to have a roll of towels here, paper towels. This is the cassette itself. When you get this, it's going to be sanitized. I use bleach and vinegar. The whole thing's clean, so don't be scared of it at first. Be scared of it after you use it, I guess, right? So there's a blue connector down here. Not connector, I'm sorry, clip that holds it in place as a handle here. So all you do is pull this clip up, the blue one, and you pull the whole thing out. Make sure, like I said, that it's closed on top. So when you pull this out, I found that this thing sometimes on the top, it doesn't close the whole way. Just push that a little further down. Make sure that it's locked down the whole way. Don't worry about these things, these blue I guess selectors or whatever it is. This is what the toilet controls on the top side. Don't worry about that stuff there. Here's your dump exit port. I'll show you how to use that in a bit. But this is meant to be dumped in either campsites. You have your gray and black water sewage connector or the line. You can just dump straight into there. Or if you're at a rest stop somewhere or just a public restroom, you could actually just bring this up. You can pull this around like a suitcase, right? Walk it into any place. Turn this up, grab the handle, uncap it, and then just dump. That's simple. Right now it just smells like pure bleach and vinegar. Super clean. Seal it back up and lock it back into place. If for some reason you did leave water in the bowl, you're going to find that there's a little catch section down here. Paper towels are there. Just go ahead and wipe that down before putting this back in. It locks into place. Put these things back in here with the paper towels, and then lock it when you're done. Now on this side, earlier in the video I showed you where your power cord is. and that is in the back of the tote, the black tote in the back, access to the back doors. You flip this up, you plug into here, and now you're hooked up to power at a campsite, at a home, or wherever you're going to be. This little indicator up here lights up when you are getting power to it. So if you hook up at a campsite and this indicator doesn't turn on, that means you're not getting power to your van. Make sure that usually those things have breakers on there. Make sure that the breaker's flipped on the campground side. These are just vents, like for your furnace um, and your hot water tank. So just don't touch them. They can get pretty hot. Exhaust spits out to the left side. I think originally on this van it spit out the back, but since Winnebago converted it, they put the exit port right here, which I like because sometimes you want to run the AC, turn on the van and run the AC for a bit, and you don't want it shooting out to your camping area on that side. The van's very quiet, so turning it on every now and then to run the AC is not a big deal. You'll see a light up here, and the switch for this light is next to the valves for the power fill and your freshwater valves, which are behind the door in the back. You'll see the top switch has a red light. That red light is for your water pump. There's a switch under that that turns this on. Why would you want this on? Well, because maybe you're doing this at night and you want some light, or just if you want to light up the surrounding area in your campground if you're dry camping as well. Fuel tank is right here. Just pull it open. 87 octane. Unlocks and that's it. You don't have to open the door to access this. I know on some of these vans you do, but not on this one. That's pretty much it for this side. Very basic on this side. Overhead clearance. I'll have a sticker in the front telling you what it is. Do not go into anything that's under 9 feet of clearance. Most drive-throughs, you cannot take this van in most drive-throughs. Now, when you're sitting in this driver's seat, your line of sight is here. So sometimes you feel like, oh, I fit, because you can see, but there's a big hump right above you, and more than likely you're not going to clear it. So if you don't see 9 feet plus on clearance, do not go in there. Don't go in there. There's underground garages. I've only been able to, I mean, I barely got this thing, but I've only been able to go into one of them that had the right clearance. The other ones have been 8 and then 0.5, 8 point something and under, and you can't fit this in there. You're going to hit. I think that's it for this side as well. The pop-up goes up. Make sure you walk around and make sure that canvas is in. I think I said that earlier as well. I think that's pretty much it for this side. Down under, you're going to find the black, no, not the black water. I'm sorry. This is your black water. That's a cassette. This is your gray water dump right here. And all it is, it has a cap. Just twist, and it comes off. Let me see if I can do that. There it is. And you pull this valve out, and then you'll have some the dirty water come out of there. The hose to connect to that is located under here, and it's in a bag. And all it is this attaches to here. Put it in and lock it in place. You'll see these tabs aligned here. Once they align here, just lock them into place. It's like an accordion. You know, form it whatever way you need to. I like to just hold it in place and pull the valve and dump my water. Now, if you want to leave it connected for whatever reason, I wouldn't personally. I'll just wait till that thing fills up. Check your gray water with the buttons inside on the control panel. Remember, you can just push that button, check the gray water. It's right next to it. It tells you what your battery life, what you have for battery charge, gray water, and liquid propane gas. So that's in the control panel inside. That was earlier in the video. So pretty much you connect this hose, pull your valve, dump your water out. When you're done, straw it out, put it back in here. Now this is for gray water, not black water. So don't be too scared of handling this. It's only shower water and dish soap water. Put it back in the bag, shove it back in that tube that's under the back bumper, and make sure that you close the latch. The latch comes over, and there's a little lock. Make sure that that's secure. If not, you're going to lose that thing on the highway somewhere. That is pretty much it for this side. So that's pretty much it for this van. The front is the front of the van. I got really not much to tell you about the front. The overhead clearance, I know I just mentioned it before, but if you end up at this part of the video and you missed that part, your overhead clearance is 9 feet. So make sure that anywhere you go, it's over 9 feet tall. No drive-throughs and underground garages. Make sure that they're over 9 feet. If not, you're going to hit. antennas there for a reason, obviously, for your radio. And I also have this thing is trackable by GPS, and it does have internet inside, and that's accessed through the actual radio, or that unit, that head unit that's in there. Just hit the power. Okay, so this is the inside of the vehicle. Let me see if I can back this up a bit. There it is. This is the passenger side through the sliding door. You're going to see that there's a fridge in here. This latch on top, always have it on when driving. What's going to happen if you don't have this on and you just rely on this little clip? It's you're gonna brake hard, and then this door's gonna swing open, and whatever you have in here is gonna come out. You don't want eggs or anything all over the place. So always locked. You use it, just get in the habit of putting it back as soon as you close it. Once you open this fridge runs on the batteries, so they're always gonna be on, and that's charged by the solar panels. You also have a small fridge, and you have an ice tray in there. This ice tray likes to bounce around in there when you're driving, so don't be scared if you hear that noise. That's what it is. It's the ice tray bouncing around. So this is your main battery hookup. If you see this green light, I don't know if you can, it's lit up right here and it's green. Always make sure this is on. So what's going to happen if you have this on the off position, this freezer is going to start to thaw out, and then you're going to have a problem with water coming out the bottom. So for example, the first time this happened, it reset everything. It turned off my hot water because it resets that, and I'll show you how to do that in a bit. You got the outside light switch. Outside light is the one I just showed you guys in the other video, right there. And this last switch on this side controls the inside lights. Okay. Under the step here, there's another access port for the water hose, so you can, the one we use for the shower in the rear. And this is great here as well if you want to hose down your steps or hose down your feet real quick before you jump in. I don't know if you're at the beach, same thing, hot water and cold water. The hose will always be in there, so reach in there, get your hose, and that's it. 110 outlets, and those don't work unless you're plugged into shore power. Right on the passenger side, you'll see your fire extinguisher, and these ports, you'll find them throughout the RV. And this is for your furnace, so that's where your hot air comes in through if it's cold enough and you want to run it. Carbon monoxide alarm, and the fire alarm on top. Moving on in, you'll see a little yellow latch right here. You pull that forward, it gives you some extra storage here. They try to take advantage of all the storage, any nook and cranny for storage, because this unit is smaller, and you want to take advantage of everything. Overhead storages, make sure that these latch all the way. If not, all your stuff's gonna fall out. But that's where you would put clothing or whatever you want to store in here. Up on top, these are your shades for your windshield and the driver and passenger side windows. I'm gonna see if I can do this with one hand. If not, I'm gonna have to get an assistant out here. All right, so the side ones are magnetic, very simple. Silver side goes out, it's reflective. You'll see the shape, and it goes in here. These are magnets. That's it. That'll cover your driver and passenger side window, and the other bag has the larger ones for the front. And that's how you would cover this and get some privacy in here. These captain seats do swing out. Very easy. I'll try to show you that in a second here. Let's see. So right up front, this lever allows you to move the seat back and forth, and this yellow one down here is the one that you use to rotate the chair. Once you unlock it, make sure you move this forward. Let me see if I can do this. Sorry about the shakiness. There we go. That's it. Both seats do that. They rotate to the back. Lumbar support, and these right here pop up the seat. If you need to get it up higher, if you need to get it down lower, make sure you pull these up and use your weight to push down, and that's how you'll get those moving back and forth. Then make sure that when you put it back, they're locked into place. That's it. The front has your glove compartment. Does have the registration in here, and up on top you have a little hidden spot. Almost feels like you're gonna break it, but pull it up. there's a flashlight in here for emergencies. Good storage. I like it. It's kind of hidden. All right. Let's move on to the control panel. And this is the stuff that I think a lot of people always either call me for because they forget. So hot water and furnace. That's all you're gonna use this for. You hit the knob in. You'll see the RV blinking. That's to get your furnace on. You rotate it to select it for hot water. This is for the fan if you want to have the fan moving inside, but you already have the exhaust fans. Try not to use it. You'll forget to turn it off, and I've yet to use it. So let's go to the RV. It's currently off. Hit enter. Well, once you hit enter to go into the RV, it's currently off. You just rotate it to input it whatever temperature you want it to be in here. That's only for the heater. It's not for the AC, it's the heater. Escape. That leaves it. If you didn't push enter, it's gonna go back to off. So make sure that when you select the temperature you want, you hit enter. Now it's on 43, but we're gonna turn that off because we don't need a heater now. Enter. That's it. Hot water. Now that it's blinking, enter. You have 3 modes. Eco mode, it'll slowly bring up the water to temperature. Say you're gonna take a shower in 4 hours or so, put it on eco mode. You'll use less gas to get that water hot, and it's just easier to have it. I like to leave it on eco mode. If not, go to hot. It'll get it there faster. And then you have boost mode. So boost mode will just really get that hot water going quickly. I'll talk about that valve in a bit. And that valve is meant to circulate the hot water to all the valves. That way you're not just running, the water's precious, you only have 20 gallons, so you're not just running the water trying to get hot water out of the spout. So let's turn that back off. Yeah, it is off. So you would leave it on boost, hot, or eco. I like eco and hot. I've yet to use boost, but go ahead and hit enter when you select that. Now you're gonna start warming up the water. You're gonna have access to hot water now. Turn that back off, enter, and that's it. That's all you need to know about this. You're gonna say, why is the time off? Don't worry about the time. I try setting the time on this, but every time someone accidentally bumps into this switch, it'll reset this. So don't worry about setting the time or anything on this or the timers. Right here is your indicators for pump, tank fills. So let's start with the LPG. LPG is liquid propane gas. You hit that button, it tells you how full it is. So we have empty, a third, 2/3 full, and full. Battery, fully charged. That's the RV batteries, not the actual van batteries. And gray water, empty. Very important to keep an eye on that. If you filled up water, if you have a 20 gallon, I think, gray water, empty gray water tank, and you have a 20 gallon fresh water. So if you filled up once because you used all the water, you're probably full on the gray. Make sure you check it out and make sure that it's empty before you continue to put more water in it. Pump. So none of your shower won't work, or your dish sink spout won't work. So now it works because the pump is on. You'll hear the pump come on. You got to make sure that that light is always on. If you're not getting water somewhere, it's because of that. Don't worry about this here. You're never going to use this. This is it's to heat the holding tank. That way it doesn't freeze on you. But you're not going to deal with those kind of temperatures down here. This is just information of the solar panels on top. Pretty much if they're charging or not. Don't worry about this. You'll never need to touch this. Now, if you remember earlier, there was a the master shut-off switch for the liquid propane on the outside of the vehicle. I like to keep this one always off, and I'll show you where that other one is. I like to keep this one always on. So that one on. Now this one on. Now turn this on when you're parked somewhere and you're gonna need hot water, you need the furnace, or you're gonna need the stove. This needs to be on. Once this is on, here's your stove. Anytime you use this stove, it's very important that that exhaust fan is going, that you at least have this window open, so that way you get a breeze and get all that smoke out. I wouldn't suggest doing that. Every time I've used this, I open the door completely and I still have that exhaust fan going. You don't want to get this, you don't want a bunch of smoke in here. It's gonna stink up everything. On. and you just flip that switch, and it's on right now. I don't know if you can see it, but I don't want to burn myself showing you. Off. That's it. You have some extra counter space here. There's a latch under it, comes down. If you need to use it as, we'll put a cutting board on here or a sheet or something. Okay. Oh, so extra storage here. If you want to bring some tools or anything. I actually currently have interior cleaning in here. I'll take that out. But that's all this is. Extra storage. This is the receiver for your dinette or dining table or office table. Pull this out, and this is locked in. Pop it out. That goes there. I'm sorry if I'm trying to balance this between do things with one hand, so if the video is a little shaky and I'm moving a lot, I hope I'm not making you sick. But that's it. You lock it in place, and that's all you do. You can move this; it's movable, and you would want this rotated if you want to eat here and have someone else or two people sitting here and eating here or facing each other. All right, let's move on to whatever's next up here before we go any further. This is the control for your fan, your exhaust fan up there. It's a remote. I like to personally just manually turn it on and off over there, but you do have the option for this, where I could actually tell it to turn off, I think. And I'm not sure if I know how to use it yet. There it is. So that brings it down and stops it from exhausting. I try not to use it. I literally take 2 steps and manually turn it on. Plus and minus, it's just fan speed. And this one says hold to set to 78 degrees. So pretty much that thing will kick on anytime that it's hotter than 78 degrees in here, and it'll turn itself off when it's not. Now this is equipped with kitchenware. You have a skillet, you have a saucepan, you have some mixing bowls, one with some hot water. You do have a French press coffee, and I do provide both of these. You get your actual coffee and the French press as well. There's some extra stuff in here. I got some olive oil for you guys, and I do provide as well a tablecloth. This is washed every single time, and this can be thrown over picnic tables. The clips are in there to keep it from flying away. That'll be in there for you guys. Okay. Here you have 4 coffee mugs, a couple of wine glasses. They're plastic. Everything in here does not break, even the dishes. So we have 4 bowls and 4 plates as well. Some spatulas, a couple of shot glasses down here. I do provide as well spoons and forks, can openers, extra flashlight, lighter, and a wine opener. You should see this on the website listing as well. This will come already equipped in here. So all these overhead latches are held up by magnets. It's actually, they work pretty darn good. Make sure these lock in place. More storage for clothing. More storage on this side. This side has a first aid kit. You're gonna have always 2 extra rolls of toilet paper here, and sometimes there'll be some in there. I'll show you the restroom in a second. This adapter here, and I'll show you how to use this when we hook up the hose for the gray water. So if you didn't know, gray water is pretty much just shower water and the sink water. Your toilet water is held by a cassette on this. You don't have a big tank, you have a 5-gallon container, which is the cassette itself, and I'll show you how that works in a bit. But this will always be used only for gray water. This is brand new, that's why I have it in here. I'll put this in the bag in the back when you get it. But this will never be used for black water, which would be the toilet water. It's always just dishwater. These capsules, I provide them as well, and I'll tell you why in a bit. They help with smells that come out of the toilet. If for some reason you're using the toilet and these things don't have P-traps, so if I could just suggest something is try not to. I mean, obviously the restroom you could use it for everything, This is the restroom. Oh, by the way, before we go into opening this and showing you how everything works inside, nothing should feel forced on this fan. So if you're pulling on this, there's something wrong, obviously. Well, that's because it has this lock on top, and this lock is there because you don't want this door swinging out while you're driving. So you always rotate it to the left counterclockwise. That'll pop it open. Comes with a mirror in the back. You do have a shower curtain in here, and this bar. Now I'm 6'1", so this bar kind of gets in my way, but guess what, it just pops up and you take this bar out if you don't need it. Down here is your toilet. There's your shower, and your toilet paper would be in here, and it's sealed. That way when you're showering, you don't get it wet. The light for the bathroom is right here. The toilet itself rotates. Depends which way you want to be facing, I guess, or when you want to shower, you want a little bit more room, rotate it this way. Now, this is not like a traditional flush where you hit a button. See that button? Is just to fill the tank with actual water. And I'll show you the bowl itself. So right now it's empty. I like to always push that button and get some water in here. And what that does is now you have some water to do your thing. Also, the water, leaving this with water all the time, well, some of it, while you're parked or at your location, what's going to happen is that water is going to help you seal whatever odors come from the tank. There is no P-trap in here like there is in your traditional house. So you want a water barrier to keep all the smells inside. To flush this, so down and then back. So you go to the right, that opens it, goes straight down into the tank, and then make sure you seal it, because if you don't go back the other way, that's going to stay open, and that's when you get the odors. That's what I was telling you. So that's it. Bathrooms are fully sanitized before you take it, so feel free. Okay. They got pretty clever with this little Winnebago emblem. It's actually a shower hook, so for your towel rack, towel hook. I'm sorry. So hang your towel on here, and then you're ready to go once you're done. Down here, you have a toaster and just some extra cleaning supplies: a sponge, surface cleaner, disinfectant wipes, Lysol. Here is your freshwater indicator. Hit the switch up here. It'll show you the level. We filled it right now. So the reason it kind of doesn't, this is the fill mark. And the fill mark, it's not way up here. I try to mark it here. The water's not all the way up, even though we topped it off, but that's because we're on a driveway, and my driveway has a bit of a slope. So this is, just flip this on and you'll see how far down you are and how much fresh water you still have left. Now this is the cycle valve I was telling you about. And your pump has to be on, obviously. So pump is on because I got water coming out of the faucet. What you do is you put this into preheat mode. I don't know if you can hear it, but the hot water is recirculating right now. You hear the pump, I can hear it. So now hot water is running through all the lines in here, and it's just circulating it. And that's just gonna keep you from wasting so much water trying to get hot water here. So if you're trying to shower, it's gonna give you pretty much instant hot water. But you don't leave this on the whole time that when you're showering and stuff. What you do is you just leave this on for a minute or two. You'll hear it before you shower, before you do anything. Turn it back to normal. It has to be on normal to continue doing what you're going to do, which is take a shower or whatever it is you're going to do that you needed hot water for. This has to be in normal for normal operation. Do not leave it on preheat. If not, you'll always hear that pump going, and that's not a good thing. Okay. Oh, down here, don't worry about this. This is a pump access port. You don't need to worry yourself about that. This is all the way through to the rear doors, so you have access to some of your storage back there. This is that power unit I was telling you about. It is locked in with the chain because I don't want it walking away on me. So what you do is you pull this out and you turn this on. 100% charge. I got 99 hours at whatever output's doing now. It's not outputting anything, so that's why it's that many. USBs in the front, so to turn these outlets on, you hit that, and now all these have power. Same thing for the rear. If you want 110 power out the back, you want to run a microwave, you want to run other things. By the way, I do not have a microwave in here, but I do have a toaster, a blow dryer, whatever you need to do. Make sure you turn it on. Now that it's on, you can plug in your appliances here. Now to charge this thing, if you're using it, it'll give you the information here. It'll tell you how much battery it has left and how many hours it has left of operation. Right here. This little guy, that's what you're gonna plug into. Plug into there. The connector for that, it's gonna be right here. And the cable for that, it's gonna be right here. So you can actually leave this plugged in. Just make sure you face it away. That way this is not exposed to someone kicking it. Shove it in that corner, leave it plugged in. And that's gonna allow for the solar panels while you're away or doing your thing to keep charging this thing. And also while you're driving the vehicle, it'll charge this thing. So that way you always have access to 110 volts for house power. If you're not using it, just turn it off or never turn it on. It says off, the display will turn off. That's it. This is already a pretty long video. Hopefully I can speed it up. And again, guys, this is only, I do this because I want to get you guys on the road. So I was thinking this video will help expedite the key exchange process. And we won't need to spend so much time going over things. So let me see if I can set this up. Okay, this is the strap. First, I'll show you where it is, and then I'll show you how to bring it back. So once that strap is there, what you're going to want to do is, let me see if I can hold this up somewhere. Hopefully it doesn't fall down. You're going to pull that strap that I just showed you, but before you pull that strap, I like to bring this part over. That way you're not fishing for it after. Then you just pull the strap and pull back. This falls that way. Remember those little the little tables on the doors I showed you earlier? That's what that's for, so this doesn't fall through. That'll give it support, and now you have a full bed here. I think for the inside, that is pretty much it. Let's move on to the driver's seat real quick. Let's move this stuff out of the way. I'll show you this as well. Obviously, one of the biggest features in this is the pop-up. But before we move on to that, to turn on, as long as you have your keys on you, that's it. Here is your parking brake. Here's your parking brake. Push to release and pull to activate. Battery boost, only if for some reason your van batteries to start the van are only if your batteries are dead would you hold this button before starting the vehicle, and that will connect you to your rear batteries that are charged by the solar panels, and it'll give you a jump start. You probably won't need that. I just wanted to mention it because some people ask me. Okay, let's move on to this side. Window operation, rear lock and non-lock. There it is. Folding mirrors, right there. Fold out. Mirror adjustment. So you have a spot mirror and a top mirror. All the way to the left, there. That moves your bottom spot mirror. Second step up, left top, moves your top mirror. Same thing for the passenger side, top mirror and spot mirror. That's it for that. Your parking brake, nice little feature this thing has is that every time you put it into park, it's gonna set on its own. Every time you put it into park. And I'll show you a little trick. I'll put it on reverse. You have your backup camera here, and also have just a rear view camera here. But put it into reverse, let go of the brake, parking brake's on, so it's not gonna go. I just tap the gas a little bit and it takes it off for me. As soon as I put it back into park, it'll set it for me. So you don't actually have to worry about putting this on and off. For some reason I'm just mentioning it if it's stuck. and then you have to manually do it. It never happened to me, but why not mention it, right? Gauges are very, very basic. Your fuel's down here. Temperature, water temperature's here. Keep an eye on it. Hot day, going up something steep. This thing's a brand new vehicle, so I doubt you ever overheat on it, but it's not gonna always be brand new. Here's your cruise control, and this does come with Apple CarPlay, and I think it does the Android thing as well. I'm not connected to it right now, but you can shoot up your maps onto here. As well, you have access to USB ports here, and I think that'll connect your phone as well. You have a little phone holder here. Your phone goes in here and has a little slot that comes out for your charge. Cup holders as well. And I think that is it for the front. That's all you would need. Oh, there's a camera up here for your front warning collision. I'll mention this because it happened to me the first time. I was driving and I got a little warning, little yellow light up here. And that little yellow light said that my front warning collision was not working. I thought something was wrong. It's not. That means that it's just getting a glare and it can't calculate the distance in the front car. So for whatever reason, it's not making a good judgment call with the camera up here, the forward facing camera. So it's just telling you, you know what, I'm not going to warn you about the front collisions, or just keep your eyes open. Always keep your eyes open, but obviously this is equipped with the front warning collision. Suggested speed limit, it would always tell you, uses GPS, it'll tell you the suggested speed limit. You're always going to hear a chime, like a just real quick, like it almost sounds like you're in an airplane, like bing, a little chime that tells you that you exceeded the speed limit. It's not going to keep beeping on you, just every time you cross that threshold it's going to tell you. The mirrors themselves will light yellow hazard, saying that there's someone in your blind spot. When someone's there, when you're trying to make a left, it'll also chime. It chimes when there's someone in the back, or there's a car approaching from one of the blind sides in your rear when you're trying to back up. Front warning collision sound is pretty loud, and it's pretty good actually. So it doesn't like tailgaters. It's going to be going off on you a lot if you like to drive close to the vehicles. So don't. And let's turn this off. Oh, like I said, just turn this thing into max air. Close all the doors in here. You'll get very good AC off of this thing. Bring the temperature down, then go ahead and kill your vehicle and run that exhaust fan in the back. And that'll keep you cool throughout the night. All right, so to access the pop-up, the latch system is actually, it has a redundancy in it. It has a secondary latch, and I'll show you this if you can come up here and see this. So 2 latches, and it's on both sides, identical on both sides. First, you release the secondary latch, and then this is a primary lock. You just pull it down, turn it, and that unhooks it. So I'm going to do the other side right now. I'm going to pop this up. Okay. So now that these things are unlatched, there's 2 straps up here. And these straps are best to put on before you push this up, because you're going to need them to pull it down. So once these are on, just grab the handles and go ahead and push it up, and now your canvas is extended, and the pop-up on the van is all the way up. You're going to remove these sunshades. At this point, it's probably a good idea to put them on. If you're parked somewhere you want your privacy, go ahead and put on your sunshades. The ladder is in 2 pieces, so assembly is required. And it's pretty easy, so it can only go in one way. You lock it in on both sides. And if this seat's all the way back, you need to push it forward or rotate it. They rotate the captain chair, so it won't be in the way when you put this ladder on. There's 2 hooks on the top, and they latch onto here. So if I can give you a tip, would be do not set this down and try to hook them on like that, because they won't grab, and when you go to use this, you're going to pull and fall off. So what you do first is always hook it on. That way you make sure you have a good hook, and you let it slide down. And that way you know that you're hooked on. I'm around 200 pounds. This thing can handle me no problem. So let's move on to bringing this thing down. To bring this thing down, we're just going to disassemble this real quick. By the way, there's a step right here. Always be mindful of it, because I've tripped a few times on it. So once you put these things down, and before you bring this down, A good practice to always, something to always do is actually keep one of the doors open, because what happens if all the doors are closed and you're pulling this down, it's like closing an accordion, and it's gonna bellow these out. So the canvas will shoot out, and then you're gonna end up sandwiching it on the outside. You pull these straps in, but if I could show you something in here at the same time up here, when you're pulling these down, you see these red straps on each side. If for some reason they're swung out, you always reach up and always give them a tug in. And that's going to ensure that the canvas is on the inside of the van when you're closing the roof. Then you go ahead and pull it all the way down. When you're pulling it down, I like to stop it around here. Push this canvas on the other side of the latches on both sides. And then that way you don't pinch the canvas. Take these out of the way, if not they're just going to be bugging you. Put them back up here. And remember the same thing, you just do it in the reverse order. Canvas goes on the other side of the latch. First system comes down, lock it in place, put it up. Secondary system. And the secondary system is pretty much there for if the primary system fails and you're on the highway, this thing doesn't get catch wind and it blows open. So I'll do the same on this side. Make sure the canvas is on the other side of the latch, obviously. You always have this extra bit of canvas hanging on the inside. Just roll it up and tuck it in. That way it's not in your face when you're walking around. There is a light right here. The switch for that is right up here. And you probably can't see it from there, but the access for it is right there. And then you also have USB access ports up here for when you're sleeping up here, you can charge your smart devices. That's pretty much it for the canvas. All right, just to go over the head unit. And by the way, this right now you're seeing what this is displaying is my garage wall, but there's a camera in the back. This is always on, and you have full visibility of whatever's behind you. If you want to turn that camera off, all you do is flip that, and now you have access to see your family or whoever's inside. Flip it back the other way, and the camera comes back on. That is not your backup camera, by the way, because it doesn't give you close viewpoint of what's going on right behind your bumper. This is actually kind of far out. Your backup camera will be right here. And I'll put it in reverse so you can see that real quick. There it is. That's your backup camera. Now, this, to turn it on, obviously just power. And real quick, I'm not going to walk through everything you have here, but if you do want to add a phone, it'll say phone right here, and then just go ahead and add your phone. We're going to go ahead and delete previous phones that are on here. But if you want to have access to CarPlay, your maps, anything that, like, well, obviously GPS or maps, whatever, wherever you're going, it'll be displayed on here if you connect your phone, or you can use the USBs as well. Your phone goes right here, and it has it's capable of having the wire coming right out the bottom, so that way you can stand it up right here, and then it shoots everything up here. I think it works. It does work with Apple. I verified that, and it does have connection with Android phones as well, or Samsung phones. AC, pretty basic, full blast, everything you need to do right here. Max AC, and your defrost for the front as well. This does not have automatic lights. You do have to turn them on manually, and that is right there. Twisting that on, that's it. Lights are on. Make sure you turn them off at night. If not, they're going to stay on. For the Wi-Fi, right up here. The Wi-Fi only works as long as the ignition is on this thing. So you could actually just don't step on the brake and hit the ignition switch. You'll turn on the ignition and you'll start shooting out Wi-Fi. The problem with that is that the ignition after, like, I think it's 15 or I don't know how many minutes. I think it was like 10 or 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes. It'll cycle off on its own. It'll just think that you left the ignition on by accident. It'll turn itself off, which will kill your Wi-Fi. Or as long as a vehicle is running, you have kids in the back, just hit this right here. And then you hit this button. That'll give you your password and the hotspot name. Wheels of Fun and Happy 123 is pretty much the password. No problem showing it, I guess. So that's it. This is where you enable it. So if you're not getting Wi-Fi, make sure that it's enabled there. As for everything else, I'm not going to go into full detail about everything that's in here. So if for some reason there is a light, I think I mentioned it earlier, front warning collision, that would be under here. Automatic emergency braking. It is on right now, warning and active braking. If for some reason it turned off on you, and sometimes it'll turn off on you automatically because of the sun glare to the forward-facing camera, and it can't make a good calculation of how far you are from the front vehicle. That's the light I was talking about earlier in the video. So you'll see that come on every now and then while you're driving this vehicle. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with the vehicle. It's just telling you that it's not working, it's not operating right now. It's not going to tell you that there's a car right in front of you because there's either a glare or a bug that spattered onto your windshield and it's obstructing the view of the camera. This should always be on though. And I'm not going to go into the details of everything else that's in here because you won't need it.